morning everybody, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like my videos, please smash that like button. Please do subscribe. It's Sunday morning. Sunday. It's raining here in Rochester, so it's raining outside. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning, and happy St. Patrick's Day, or in Irish, Mai Janwa, Lala Podrick Hanadit. Phew, I hope I got that right. Why not ask me what else I can say in Irish?
Alexa, say something in Irish.
I can't speak a lot of Irish, however, I do know one Irish saying, or shan uckle. Neil ain tin tun ma de hin tun fame. It means, there's no fireplace like your own fireplace, or as Dorothy would say, there's no place like home. If you'd like to ask for a specific word in Irish, just say something like, how do I say good night in Irish?
Alexa, how do you say Happy Easter in Irish?
Happy Easter in Irish is
An Posh Honor.
Oh, sure. So guys, it is Sunday morning. Alexa, what's the time please?
the time is 8:25 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today? Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Sunday the 17th of March.
Alexa, what's the weather outlook?
In Rochester, it's 11 degrees Celsius with showers. Today's forecast calls for more of the same, with a high of 15 degrees and a low of 7 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What do you call a cockerel that's being interrogated? Grilled chicken.
Alexa, whose birthday is it today? Alexa, whose birthday is it today?
Today's famous birthdays include American actor Kurt Russell, Canadian musician, singer, record producer and visual artist Grimes, model, photographer and author Patty Boyd, American actor Gary Sinise, and American actor Rob Lowe.
Right, so there's a few people I recognise there. One of them, Rob Lowe. Alexa, how old is Rob Lowe?
Rob Lowe is 60 years old.
Oh my God. These are all the guys I used to watch on telly growing up with. What does he look like now? Alexa, what films did Rob Lowe star in?
I know about 62 movies which star Rob Lowe, including Wayne's World, St. Elmo's Fire, About Last Night, Holiday in the Wild, and 58 more.
Also Kurt Russell. Alexa, how old is Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell is 73 years old.
Wow. I've got a cat here acting like a dog because she's grown up with Max. She's watched Max put things in his mouth. Harry's watched Max put things in his mouth. And now my cat is playing like a dog, like a little puppy. Harry's picking things up in his mouth and he's running around with them like Max. It's so funny, that cat. They're really good mates, Max and Harry, and they play about at night. And now Harry is acting like a little puppy, running up and down with little toys and things in his mouth. So funny. That's what happens. I've got a kitten that's grown up with a chihuahua. It's running up down with what looks like Max's toy in his mouth. Right, so it's Sunday. Last night I went for a walk. I didn't take my camera out, I just went for a walk. And I just took Max just around the field, not all the way around in the dark, it was pitch black. but the builders had kept the lights on in the over 55s flat, so I could see around the little bit where I was walking. There was 3 lads on a bench, and I just came back home. I put the telly on. I just flicked through the news. I like to keep up to date with the news, and all that was on the news last night on BBC and Sky News late at night was Charles Spencer, Princess Diana's brother, coming out with more revelations. I don't understand why he's just come out with it all now. Princess Diana's been dead a long time, because he's mentioning Princess Diana, his sister. So he's coming out with more revelations, and I read a piece that was in the Mail a couple of weeks ago that he said he was abused at a boarding school. Now he's saying the nanny abused him and Diana. Their Nanny Forster, abused him and Diana. So I don't know why this is exactly coming out now, but apparently there's something on BBC. I think 9 o'clock, where Charles Spencer is doing a documentary, because I mean Diana did the Panorama documentary, didn't she? She went on Panorama, and Martin Bashir interviewed excuse me, Princess Diana. Sorry, I suffer from heartburn and it makes my throat sore. So Princess Diana did the Panorama interview where she claimed that there was 3 in her marriage: her, Camilla and King Charles. She said she didn't think Charles was going to be, a very good king. And she said a lot of other things, right? And that, I think, ended her time with the royal family after she made a load of revelations. So now we've got Charles Spencer coming out with things that nobody knew. He's never said until up to a few weeks ago. So now he's on television. Charles Spencer, Princess Diana's brother, is now on television. I have been saying that I would like to talk about things myself to help other people, and now Charles Spencer is on the television, Diana's brother. So celebrities, famous people can go on telly and just air their dirty laundry, everything they want to say, but I can't. So I do it through YouTube. Anyone that's gone through my YouTube channel will know that I've been abused as a child. My father abused me since I was the age of 10. I haven't just come out with it. I've been trying to get justice and support for a long time. But now we've got the royal family and even Princess Diana's brother coming out and getting millions and thousands of views, and people listening to them because they've got the power of the television, the celebrity status, the power to get behind the TV and have it broadcast everywhere. And I haven't. I'm just a common person that's been through abuse, that wants to help other people, be strong, be positive, and know that you can get through it without drugs, alcohol, and getting into fights and stuff. Now, I've had a long rocky road and a hard battle, and I wasn't set free till my father Derek died. He died, and even now I'm not really set free. I feel like I'm kept quiet, told to keep my mouth shut. But Charles Spencer has free speech, and he's talking all about his abused childhood isn't Diana's. Diana's dead. She can't speak for herself. It's like the Queen's dead, and you've got some members of royalty saying things, and the Queen can't speak for herself. Princess Diana can't speak for herself. She's dead. She's not here. So it's unfair. It's unfair to include somebody that is dead and can't speak for themselves. We'll never know what went on at Diana's childhood, will we? That way, because she's dead. She can't say what Charles Spencer is saying is true, can she? Because she's dead. We've only got Charles Spencer's hearsay. Now, my father Derek was an abusive, violent man, and my mum backs my story up. She backs it up. Diana's gone. And we've only got his word for it. What he's saying is true. I'm not saying he's lying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's telling lies. But why is this all surfaced? Why is it all surfaced now? Now my dad's passed away, the Queen's passed away, right? Why is everybody saying things now? It's a bit too late, isn't it? Maybe if Charles Spencer had spoken when Diana was alive about this, maybe more people would have understood why she acted the way she did. And maybe she would have got help. See, I don't understand. I really don't understand. That's not helping Diana now, is it? She's dead. You should have spoken when she was alive, in my opinion. They just want to go on the telly and make themselves look good. And all try and, Diana this, Diana that. Now she's dead. It's not working with me, I'm afraid. I was 16 when I had the guts to speak out, and I was silenced. It was blamed on myself. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
None of the three men I'm thinking of have won a public vote to gain high office. Rishi Sunak's became an MP, and the others have won their elections to become, to become politicians, to sit on their assemblies. But they've not actually won a leadership election with the general public. They've been appointed by their parties.
So what that is, from my point of view, is that they're in the circle and they're saying all the right things. It's like it's going way back in time, Matthew. You used to have the slave in the field, and you used to have the house slave. Yes. And basically, they're in there, in that circle, saying all the right things. That's my opinion. I just don't see how they represent. And diversity to me is just a joke, really. I've seen,
You're a person of colour yourself, Stephen.
Yeah, I was born in Jamaica.
Okay.
I came here 20 years ago. But just watching the politics and watching the whole diversity conversation and see the results from diversity, and I'm just thinking it's a joke, really.
So as a black guy, you don't take anything positive from seeing a black man now leading Wales.
No, we've never seen anything positive from a person of colour doing any politics in the UK. I've never seen it. As a matter of fact, even in America, we've never really seen any positivity.
I think Obama fans would probably argue the toss with you there and say that there's.
I mean, it's just a box-ticking exercise again. You look at Obama and a lot of people will say that he's done not what they expected him to do, because he can't do it, because he can't represent his community and really solve the problems that are there, because he has to keep a certain, part of his party or, his group happy.
Okay. I'm kind of not surprised by what you hear. I'm still troubling to think how having diverse leaders, why that doesn't trickle down. And of course, trickle down when you apply it to economics, we know doesn't work. So maybe I've answered my own question. Stephen, thank you. Let's go to Abigail in Dewsbury. Good morning to you, Abigail.
Hi, Matthew. Well, a pleasure to speak to you. I've loved you ever since you were on TV.
Oh, making me blush. Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to tell you, there's a few things here. What we're talking about, if we're talking about the ones on the right, as in the Tory party,
Yeah.
The Tory party fundamentally have got a lot of racist members, which is why they chose Liz Truss over Rishi Sunak. I don't understand how people can't see that. And the fact is, right, what I would say, right, is that, have you ever heard, you will have heard of it because you're made the rap group NWA, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Where their famous line in one of their famous songs, I'm not going to say the song.
Thank you.
He says that the black police are worse than the white police
Yes.
to be stopped because fundamentally they have to be tougher, right? And I'm not saying this in the left because I don't think because David Lammy is a great example. I think David Lammy's done a lot for his community. I think he's a great guy, right? Okay, I don't live in his community, but I listen to him on his radio show, right? Let's talk about the ones on the right. I'm telling you now, Kemi Badenoch, when she says, there's no such thing as racism, it's the same as Candice Owens over in America, right? When the only reason why black people are accepted by Republicans on the right is if they start on that let BLM doesn't matter. I mean, there's a lot of the Tory members and the voters would have said when BLM was on the rise, all lives matter, And these lot are pandering to it, especially when you saw that racist guy who wrote the donations, 10 million reasons why.
I have to just say, allegedly racist guy at this moment in time, but but I hear you.
Right, okay. But the point is, I watched a clip on LBC the other day. They had constituents out of Natalie Anderson's, out of
Ashfield.
Not very I've been there, I used to live near there, It's not very diverse at all, okay?
No.
And I'm telling you now, when they're all panicking, well, he's right, they're all criminal. What? In a white, bloody little market town?
Well, this is what's so interesting, because Lee Anderson then went on to slag off a borough in London, Tower Hamlets, where I used to live, saying it was a no-go area, which it's just palpable nonsense. I suspect he's never even been there. Abigail, a fantastic, lively call. I'm a white guy, so I don't know, but I'd love to hear from black or brown people whether you feel that the black and brown people in the Conservative cabinet are kind of trying to outdo white people with negative views about black and brown people, as she was asserting there. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. 0245 6060 973 is the number. Now, you may be aware that it's day 3 of the Russian presidential fake elections. I think it'd be fair to say that there's been some resistance among voters to the notion of having to vote for Putin for the umpteenth time. It is true that you can vote for one of, I think, his 3 token rivals from Kremlin-friendly parties who've bravely refrained from any criticism of Putin or his invasion of Ukraine. And of course, those who do dare voice criticism or oppose the 71-year-old invariably meet an unpleasant end, either a hideous prison sentence, murder, or both in the case of Alexei Navalny. I've heard of at least half a dozen cases now of vandalism at polling stations, including a firebombing. Several people report green liquid into ballot boxes. I think this is a homage to Navalny, who a few years back was attacked by someone who threw green disinfectant in his face. I saw a video of an old lady, I think, being arrested for possession of a green liquid. I'd like to think she was on her way home to do some washing up. But it's elections. We know who's going to win. He's already been Prime Minister a number of times. President who appears never to go away. What is the point of this process then? Well, Bill Browder is an anti-corruption campaigner, chief executive of Hermitage Capital and head of the global Magnitsky Justice Campaign. I'm delighted to say joins me now. Morning, Bill.
Morning to you.
What is the point of this election? It's a rubber stamping exercise. Do the people of Russia, do they fall for it?
Well, so yes and no. I mean, the point of this election and the reason why they do it is that they try to mimic everything in Russia as if it's done in a real country. So they have courts, they have media, they have elections. They try to put on the veneer that it's a normal country where they do normal things and the leader gets elected. It's just part of their whole thing, which is, back in the Stalin times, they would always torture people into a confession before they executed them because they wanted to have a, due process. And the same thing is true here in the sort of electoral thing. To call it an election, I find it's just an insult to the word election because, as you mentioned, Putin kills anybody who stands in his way. Alexei Navalny was murdered. He was the most popular opposition politician who was in jail. They murdered Boris Nemtsov. They've arrested Vladimir Karamurza, who's a British citizen, who's also Russian, who's serving 25 years. These guys, it's an absurdity that from top to bottom. I saw pictures on Twitter yesterday of soldiers going into voting booths with guns to make sure that everyone was voting the right way. It's just such an insult to the whole concept of democracy that it's not even funny.
Can you? I studied the Russian Revolution. I got very interested in it back in the day, and people were very aware and very scared of the rise of Stalin. Can you quantify the sort of level of fear that Russian citizens are currently living under with regard to Putin? I mean, how much of that is he actually intimidating his own people?
That's what it's all about. It's just total fear and intimidation. I would call it domestic terrorism. Putin, he doesn't have to kill everybody. He just has to kill a few people here and there, arrest a few important people here and there, and everybody just becomes very practical. So, there's not a single Russian that you'll ever find who will, they'll just say to themselves, why am I putting up with this? Because I don't want to get into trouble. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to die. And so every single Russian just keeps it to themselves. How can they possibly love this president when they're too afraid to even say one word about him without something terrible happening to them? It's a total police state. It's a total totalitarian regime. And it's very unpleasant for the people there because, at any moment, anything bad can happen, whether you say something or not. Just for example, they passed a new law that says that if you criticize the war, you can lose your property. And so if you're living in a nice apartment and somebody eyes up your apartment, like from the security services, they can then accuse you of criticizing the war, which you didn't even do, and all of a sudden, you're out on the street because your apartment gets taken over by these local policemen. And that's everything about Russia is just total arbitrariness now, in which you just pray and hope, if you're a Russian citizen, that nothing bad is going to happen to you.
Well, I think you set out your stall brilliantly there when you described Russia as essentially aping a normal country, faking those processes. I've never heard it put so clearly like that. Thank you. Bill Browder there, Chief Executive of Hermitage Capital.
That was terrifying to hear that. Right, guys, have a great Sunday. See you later.